I say that we were caught up with the economic depression, especially with the drop in international oil prices, and that was 5 years ago. And I think that, of course, impacted our oil and gas book, and meant we had to restructure it. Now, we were taking short-term, matched funds initially, and elongating our oil and gas book, okay, so, which created a mismatch on the foreign currency side. But I will tell you that in the time that I took over and the time that I'm leaving, we paid down. So we first of all, there was no deterioration in the book. Foreign currency obligations were paid down. We also increased revenue generation from our retail book, okay, and we enabled us to generate more profits to stay in the game. But secondly, as well, we also made a fundamental shift in our business to go from global to local. And the whole idea was, how do we maximize capital? How do we maximize capital? And one was to move from an international bank to a national bank, which made sense for the type of business that we were driving. Because when you looked at the capital that we were deploying in our international business and the returns, it didn't make sense where Nigeria was the price. Nigeria was where we could do more. We could do more for the buck that we had, and so we took that decision to become a national bank, and that allowed us to reduce our capital requirements. So it meant that we could now, over a longer period, manage any capital issues that we had. So we're actually in a very good position as at the end of 2018 to drive our strategy, which was small businesses, financial inclusion, okay, and retail in Nigeria with the appropriate type of capital that was needed to do that.
I'm a little confused. Are you saying as at December, end of 2018, the bank was still in a good place?
The bank was in a good place from the perspective that, first of all, we were meeting our capital requirements at the time, and we had liquidity, and so we were actually going to turn a profit in 2018. So when you look at that, and then of course our customer base was growing. So you have to look at these indices. Your liquidity is growing, your deposits are growing, and you're also lending in the space that you wanted to lend in. And you were still a systematically important bank as well. And so with all those things, it was, and with any organization, it's what is the best interest of the stakeholders, and that's what the decision the Diamond Bank took in looking at, okay, do we raise capital, or do we actually align with an organization that is actually shares the same aspirations as Diamond Bank, that will also allow us to continue the philosophy, which is, connecting people to markets and creating a much bigger platform.
But so meaning that you also came to the realization that going alone at that point, even though you'd made some positive changes, going alone at that point wouldn't have been such a good idea.
Well, you know what they say. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go longer, go with someone else. And for us, is our business. The business requires scale, and so we saw an opportunity where we could create a bigger platform, whereby you would have products and services that would serve our customers locally and globally, and we will also still be doing the same things that we were doing as Diamond Bank, which was, inclusive banking, working with fintechs to actually create new products and services to drive the last mile, and also our pursuit in gender parity as well. And we found a partner that shared the same values. So
you ruled out every chance of the bank being able to do that on its own.
So we looked at every consideration and said what was in the best interest of stakeholders, and stakeholders are customers, staff, and shareholders. And we saw that we could either raise capital, we can go alone, or we could partner, and we got advisors to help us decide what was the best for the organization, and we went through a process, and that process said this is the best outcome for stakeholders of this franchise.
So this was a decision meeting held by what, shareholders, the board, and
yes,
because we did hear, because there was some, speculations, rumors that there was some, rumblings within on the board and et cetera. What can you tell us about that in terms of, I know that obviously there were very difficult decisions to be taken, but, just give us a sneak peek into how that all played out and, some of the voices that said, you know what, why don't we go in this direction, and others say, no, let's go in that direction.
So I think, and I think the great thing about a board, a diverse board, is that people have different views. And you have to take all these things into consideration, because sometimes there's no right structure, there's no right road. It's just how you plow that road. And so you would have people with different views and views. But I think the most important thing was that I think the key stakeholders and the key shareholders were, I think, aligned in what was best for the organization. And I think that's and I think the best solution is what we decided to do.
Okay, for those who are telling themselves that, look, from a risk assessment point of view, from a corporate governance point of view, Diamond Bank was found wanting, what do you say to those people?
Well, I say that you only have to look at the outcome of the merger and the price that was paid. It tells you this was, I think Access Bank paid 3 times what the market value for Diamond Bank. So that tells you that there was clearly inherent value in the organization, and it is very clear that on a bigger platform, we could really leverage the resources that was in Diamond Bank. And I think if you have, and I think I think Access Bank felt that because they shared the same some values and had complementary capabilities with Diamond Bank, that they could leverage that, and that there was something good in Diamond Bank. And clearly, with a customer base of 18 million people, a way of doing business that is bulletproof and futuristic, clearly is something that, with their corporate and treasury capabilities, they could leverage on to create a fantastic banking platform.